In this video, young millionaires are going to reveal the secret to becoming successful. Now come on, is there actually a secret to becoming a multi-millionaire or to becoming successful? Luckily for us, Charlie Chang decided to interview young millionaires and ask them what is the secret to success.
So how old are you and what do you do?
I'm 24 right now. I run a couple of beauty brands and I'm an angel investor.
I go by Janksta. I'm 26 and I currently run a 30,000 member stocks and crypto community, as well as I work in Web3 and I'm do modeling on the side.
I'm 28 years old and I teach tax education online and run a tax and accounting company.
My name's Jason Less. I'm 36 years old. I am the CEO of a company called Riot Blockchain.
My name's Jasmine. I am 25 years old. I am almost a nurse practitioner and I work in the medical aesthetics industry and own a medical aesthetics clinic, and I do social media.
I'm Jeff Clayton, 23 years old, and I run two service-based companies.
How do you invest your money?
I'd say I am riskier than most right now, just because of my age and since I don't have, wife, kids, mortgage, etc.
Yeah.
I put a good amount towards myself, so companies that I'm starting, high risk, high reward, stuff like that.
It's true that typically the higher the risk, the higher the potential reward. Now as a beginner, should you actually go for that path? Should you look for the high risk opportunities because they provide such a high potential reward? In my opinion, honestly no. When you're an intermediate or an advanced in business, you already have a successful business or you have built a couple successful business ventures, then in my opinion, a good strategy would be to follow the 80-20 principle, meaning 80% of the time, most of the time, you stick to the fundamentals that you know they work. But then 20% of the time, or this can also be applied to your money, 20% of your money, you invest it into opportunities which are more high risk and high reward. And if it works, great, you will have learned something, you will have made more money, you might even be able to turn this into more of a sustainable business. And who knows, this could be the opportunity that could allow you to go from 7 to 8 or even 9 figures a year. So when you invest in high risk, high reward opportunities, you're essentially doing so because you can afford to do so. Like he said, he doesn't have kids, a wife, a mortgage, so he can afford to take more risks. And that's why if right now you're like in your 20s, in your 30s, and you don't have that many responsibilities, now is the best time to actually start your own online business if you truly want to make 6, 7, or even hell, who knows, 8 figures a year. If you're in university or you have a 9 to 5 and you really don't like that job, you want to make more money, the time that you have on the side, you could use it to start your own online business. And this could be the opportunity that changes your life forever. I mean, trust me, if I hadn't started my own online business a couple years ago, I would not be where I am today and I would not be living this kind of life. It would have been impossible if instead of starting my business, I had decided to go to university and to follow the traditional path. And there's nothing wrong with that path per se. However, what I didn't like personally is that this cookie cutter path, it was pushed onto literally every single one of us. Like I remember in school, maybe you had a different experience, but that's just mine. They never once mentioned, oh, you might start a company in the future. It was always when you're going to send your resume to that company and this and that, when you're going to have a job interview. But they never said, one day if you do start a company, so by default, they just said, okay, you're going to be an employee to literally everybody. But it's like, that's not the only path. So just like that path is not meant for everybody, at the same time, I know that being an entrepreneur, starting a business, being an investor, it is not made for most people, let's face it, because it's a lot of work. It's kind of like how many people they want to have a better body, but how many people are actually willing to go every day to the gym and to put in the work and have that dedication to get the results that they want. Honestly, not that many people. And you know what? That's okay. So when you're just starting out, focus on starting an online business, which is not that risky. There is no such thing as a risk-free opportunity, trust me, but there is such a thing as opportunities which have less risk than others. And if we compare every business model, for instance, dropshipping is a much riskier opportunity than, for instance, consulting. But at the same time, when you look at dropshipping, it's not like the rewards are massive. I mean, sure, don't get me wrong. Some people, they make millions of dollars every month with dropshipping, because technically speaking, every online business model works. However, from my own personal experience, when most people get started in dropshipping, they don't make any money. In fact, they just lose money. We'll come back to this later if you're wondering why.
Currently, I invest my money split between stocks, crypto, and NFTs.
I remember just a couple years back, even a couple months ago, when the NFTs and the cryptos, they became so popular, everybody was jumping on that train. And so many people, they invested like 2.5k or even more than that, all of their life savings into cryptocurrencies or NFTs. And guess how that turned out for most people? They lost a huge amount of money. Just take a look at Justin Bieber. He invested around $1.3 million in a teary-eyed NFT. And guess what? It has lost most of its original value. So did he invest his money wisely? No. If you're really going to invest in something like crypto, stock market, or all that stuff, in my opinion, you should stick to the fundamentals. fundamentals, like I said. So 80% of the time, invest in the boring fundamentals because they work. And then 20% of the time, fair enough, if you want to go for high risk, high reward opportunities, you can do so. Who knows, you might strike it big. But most of the time, and for most people, that is simply not going to be the case. Also, sometimes some people tell me, okay, I have $1,000, I have $2,000, and I want to invest them because I want to get rich. I want to make 6 figures, 8 figures. Tell me how to do it. Should I invest in crypto, in the stock market, in real estate? And my answer to all of them is absolutely not. Because the thing that you need to understand is that what gets you to $10,000 a month, it is not the same thing which is going to get you to $1 million per month or per year. Because it's a different thing to get rich and another thing to stay rich and to get even richer. They're different levels and they're not playing the same game. So if you try to play the game like the rich is already playing it, you are going to fail because you need to get rich first. So what do I mean by this? Because right now this might be confusing for some people. How do rich people keep getting richer? The answer is actually quite simple. Most of the time, the way that they're getting richer is thanks to inflation. Think about it. Who does inflation benefit? Asset owners. Because if, let's say, they have an asset which is worth $1 million and there is an inflation rate of 10%, let's say, this means that they would gain $100,000 on the worth of their asset. It could be, let's say, a piece of real estate. So now they're richer and they didn't have to do anything else really to become richer. They just naturally made more and are worth more thanks to inflation. All they had to do really was to hold on to that asset. But then this means that people who did not have assets, they only lost money. Because if the rich or the asset owner is going to have a 10% increase, the person who doesn't own any assets and only owns liabilities, which are things that take money out of your pocket. For instance, when you go and buy the latest iPhone or a pair of shoes, you're buying a liability. It's not going to make you money. So that person, they will lose money. They're going to lose 10% every year. So if you had $1 million just sleeping in your bank account, so to speak, you don't invest it into anything, it just stays there. If the inflation is, let's say, 10% per year, crazy. Year after year, you'd be losing $100,000 and in 10 years, you would be left with $0. And I mean, you started from $1 million. Now, inflation doesn't have to be that drastic, but you get my point. If you don't invest your money, it just stays in your bank account, you're not getting richer. Quite the opposite, in fact. You're getting poorer. And that is why, I mean, I've seen so many videos, even just growing up on YouTube, of people and their financial advice is penny pinch your whole life. Never buy a $5 Starbucks coffee. Never go out to an expensive dinner. Never go and have fun or go out to dinner with your friends and your family. And just save as much as you can. Budget all of your life and invest as much as you can every month in the stock market. And you know what? When you're 60, when you're 70, you might have $1 million or $2 in the bank if you did everything correctly and nothing went wrong. But I mean, honestly, yeah, it might be cool to have $1 million or $2 at 70, at 80 years old. But first, you don't even know if you're going to make it up to that age to begin with. Then you'll have to pay a lot of taxes on top of all of that. And then with inflation, your money, it's not really going to be worth that much because today, $5 million, it's the new $1 million. That's what most people don't get. The longer you wait to start your business, to start on your journey to obtaining financial abundance, to making 6, 7, or even hell, 8 figures a year, the longer you wait, the harder it is going to get. And we've seen it with the rise of artificial intelligence. I mean, trust me, ChatGPT is a joke compared to all the stuff, all the technology that we are going to have access to soon. Because right now, at the time I'm making this video, we still have a crazy opportunity literally for anyone, pretty much anywhere in the world, to build crazy levels of wealth. And all of that starting from nothing or close to nothing. But like I said, more and more people are becoming increasingly aware of this insane opportunity brought by the internet and by the revolution with social media. And so more and more people are getting started. I mean, during the recent lockdowns and pandemics all over the world, more and more people got started. They tried to start their own online business. Because after all, people were stuck at home. They had so much free time, they didn't know what to do with it. So all those dreams and projects that people had, they thought, you know what, I have the time now. So they didn't have any more excuses. But guess what? Because plenty of people got started, the competition grew as well. So now if you're trying to do dropshipping like people were in 2015, 2011, you are screwed, let me tell you. Because do you seriously think people are still willing to pay for overpriced AliExpress products or even worse, Wish products because you have a nice, pretty website and you offer customer support emails? Obviously not. The only reason somebody's going to pull out their credit card and to pay you with their own hard-earned money is if you provide a solution to a painful problem or need that they have. This is how so many people just mess things up when they try to start a business. They think all about themselves when in reality you need to think about what people want. To give you an example, right now to grow this YouTube channel, I'm currently publishing 2 videos a day. Now fair enough, they might not be animated movies like you see some other big creators making, but one day we'll get to that level, it's just a matter of time. But if you look at the kind of videos I'm posting, I'm often trying to make more of the kind of videos that already work, because why would I bother to make a video on a topic that people simply do not care about? At the end of the day, to have a successful business, you need to provide the market, the people, what they want. I've learned from many business mentors, and all of them had this one common trait. As long as they were trying to force products or services down their market's throat, they never made any money because people did not need what they had to offer. And I get it, it can be difficult when you start a business to dissociate your emotions from it, because when you build a nice product, product, like it could be an online course, it could be an ebook, it could be even a physical product, or when you provide a service, you're attached to your baby. It's your creation, but in a way it's your baby, you know? So you're emotionally invested into it. So when somebody says, oh, you know what, that's crap, you're going to take it personally because you put so much time and effort into it. You invested so much of yourself to make that product or service that obviously you're going to take it personally at first. But then if you really want to be successful, you will quickly have to learn that in business, you need to make your decisions based on the facts and on the feedback that you get from the market. But at the same time, you have to be careful because it would also be a mistake to always be making iterations because one person said one thing. In my opinion, it's only when it's screaming at you, when people are just literally telling you in mass to do this thing or to not do that thing, that you should start to pay attention.
I invest a lot into my own companies.
Okay.
And then a lot of founders come to me with their great ideas, and I like to invest in them too.
And that is a great thing to invest into. Your own business. Like so many people, they're just thinking about passive income, ways to make money without having to do any work. But I mean, to some degree, if I'm being completely honest, you will always have to trade some kind of time for money because you'll always have to do some kind of work. Even if you invest in the stock market and you have a passive investment strategy, a couple hours a month, you will still need to review your investments portfolio and to decide what to do if you want to follow that strategy or to pivot in some way. So it's not like you'll never have to trade some of your time for money. But the thing that you should invest into, if right now you don't have that much money, or even if let's say you have a successful online business, you're making $20,000 a month. If you want to make more money, what should you do? Invest in real estate? In the stock market? Honestly, no. The first thing that should be on your mind is to reinvest your profit into the business itself. Because to begin with, you can deduct it from your business taxes, from your corporate tax. So you're only benefiting from this. You pay less taxes and you grow your business. Because honestly, some people have seen it. They get to $10,000 a month because they work hard, they're being disciplined, but then, you know, they start to get a taste of what freedom would be like, of what abundance and wealth would be like. And so they decide to blow it all on stupid stuff. They start to go to the club, to buy expensive bottles of champagne, to impress people, they reserve the best tables, they buy some gifts for the people that they love, and that's all nice. But if you're making $10,000 a month and you're spending $10,000 a month, you can see that there is a gigantic problem right there. Because trust me, there's a big difference between somebody making 10k per month and spending 10k per month. And so that's a really stupid move, honestly. Unless they're reinvesting those 10k in the business to grow it, of course. And then somebody else spending $10,000 a month, but they make $100,000 a month at least. So the first thing that should be on your mind is to start your own online business if you don't have one already, because watching YouTube videos, it's nice, but at the end of the day, if you really want to be successful, you'll have to roll up your sleeves and to put in the work. That's how the game is played. And then when you start to make 5k, even just any money with your business, really, reinvest in it to grow it.
What's your biggest tip when it comes to making a high income?
Don't associate your time with money. So when you're looking for a job, don't think of, okay, my hourly pay. I'd say thinking of other streams of income is a better starting way to think, but try to get away from associating time with money.
Now, like I said, you'll always be trading some kind of time for money. However, there is a big distinction. The way that most people go about making money is that they trade their time for money, meaning they're paid per hour of their time. In some jobs, you'll be paid per commission or based on the results that you get, but most people, they are paid per hour. But you see, that's the problem. If you're being paid per hour, that's the wrong metric entirely. Because what are companies looking for from their own employees? Results. So paying you per hour, it's not a good way to incentivize you to do the work on time and to do the work efficiently. Because you know that at the end of the day, during your 8-hour workday, whether you do a lot or not that much, you'll be paid the same because you are paid per hour of your time. So it's not incentivizing people to give it their everything. And that is why I much prefer commission-based jobs and all that stuff. And also because you as the worker, you've got a lot more leverage when it comes to how much money you can make. But the most fundamental lesson that you need to learn in business, and you need to learn it as soon as possible if you really want to succeed, it's that you need to have a lot of leverage to win. Do you think that Jeff Bezos is doing everything himself? Do you think he built the Amazon.com website and is responding to customer support emails every day? Obviously no. How could he do all of that himself? It's impossible. And that is why as soon as you can, you want to delegate, you want to hire people in your company. And that doesn't mean that they have to be employees. You can use freelancers and contractors. And that is exactly what we teach our students at Consulting Fastlane. Because the time that you don't have to spend doing the work for your client, it's time that you can spend looking for more clients. So making more money, bringing in more revenue for your company. And this also means that even if you don't have the knowledge on how to solve a problem for a market, you can pay somebody to do it for you. So you find a client, you get paid by the client, and then you find somebody else to do the work for that client. And so you're essentially a middleman. You take a cut of the profit. So it's a win-win scenario. The client gets the results, they're happy, you make money, and the freelancer makes money. Now, if you want to discover what is the best online business to start for beginners, I have recorded a free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together we take a look at the pros and the cons and I'm also going to share with you the 3-step process that you can use to start getting your first customers today. If you're interested, the link is in the description below.